Today's video is going to be very specific. This is going to be the best HPA rig and line set up for the Tippmann M4. So if you don't run a Tippmann M4, this video is not for you. But if you are thinking about a Tippmann M4, then this video will apply. We're going to be going over 3 different tanks and 3 different hose lines with 2 different connector points. All these pieces could be found on Amazon, except for maybe the amped Tippmann HPA line, but everything else can. And then we'll go over the different combinations and the pros and cons on which tank and line works best. These are the honest tanks and honest lines that I have run for the past couple years, and I'm just going to go over what worked best for me. Your mileage definitely might vary. This is a very opinionated review. Let's go ahead and start with what I first started out with. Right here is the short Tippmann that we've been running with the hex mag. Right now it has the slide check connector, which I will be changing out, and we'll go over that in a second. So I started out broke, which tends to be the case with a lot of people. So we went with the aluminum Guerilla HPA tank. This is not a CO2 tank, but I'm not sure if this could take CO2, but I digress. High pressured air. So this is a 62 cubic inch, 3000 psi Guerilla tank. This tank has a little bit of weight to it, I'm not gonna lie. So this tank is pretty long and pretty heavy, but price point, this is gonna be your cheapest tank. Prices I'll go ahead and link on the bottom. I don't have those off the top of my head. But this is your Guerilla aluminum air tank, 62 cubic inch, 3000 psi. We'll go over tanks first, and then we'll go over hoses. Eventually I upgraded to a carbon fiber tank. I stuck with the brand Guerilla tanks because this one, again, price point for carbon fiber, I think this was the cheaper. And this is a 48 cubic inch, and this one has a 4500 psi. Definitely can feel the difference in weight. I mean, more than double, I'd say this had the weight. Probably fielded this carbon fiber Guerilla tank more than any other tank. I had never had any problems with it. Very lightweight. Ran it in everything from a backpack to a camelback to source hydration camelbacks to multi-purpose bags, and anything I could stuff it into, and it's held up very well. It's very durable. But after getting a second Tippmann and building out this short one, wanted to let my son use it because we weren't having a lot of luck with AEGs. We would field them, and not to knock down in Ares Amoeba or anything, because I still have one of their AR pistols that's running fine. But the honey badger looking one, you know, after about 2 years, but a lot of gameplay, it kind of started to wear down, and I haven't had time to repair it, nor do I have the technical expertise to repair any AEGs. Sidetrack again. Anyways, so after this tank, we went with this Empire tank. I'm not sure what generation it is, but that's the specs right there. I'm not too sure what the coating is on the back. This one is actually a lot, not a lot lighter, but it is noticeably lighter. And now my son runs this one, and these are the tanks that we'll be using at the upcoming Operation Lion's Claw up in Victorville. I'm excited for that milsim. It's a 3-day milsim. We're going to be hopefully get some gameplay and put that up as well. So that's it for the tanks. Now we'll go over the hose. This is the first line that I started out with. It's a Ninja slide check. It has, you know, your turn valve right there, open and close. It's a micro line, so it's very thin, but it's very strong. I mean, it's pressure tested to the point where this should never fail on you. The problem that I had eventually is with the slide checks and leaks with the O-rings and seals, because if you never operated a slide check before, that turns it off, that turns it on, or I guess there was a little air in there. Other than being a lot longer than what we upgraded to, the slide checks, if you're not familiar with them, they could be a problem, especially when you loan them out to friends and they accidentally slide in and air's flying everywhere and they have to run to them and stop that, so you have to go back to the fill tank, because sometimes fill tanks aren't very far from the entrance point for some weird reason. So this was the Ninja line, micro line was the first hose that I went with, and it can snag on a couple things, because when under pressure it does stiffen up, kind of could bow out quite a bit from your wear and snag, but it's still pretty strong and it never had any problems with it. I wanted to try a much hyped about line, HPA line for the Tippmann. I'm a big fan of amped airsoft and their gear. That's where I bought my Tippmanns from, or I ordered it, and that's what's on here is their internal grip line. So basically, when out of the box, when you do HPA tap it, it's going to have the connect right here. So basically, this section right here would be right here. So when you connected it like this, you'd have a very you have like a hard metal tube sticking out of your pistol mag, and it can get in the way, and if you low crawl or go into the prone, that could be an issue. So the internal grip line, even though it's going to stick out about an inch before you can turn it, this is about the length of the full of this right here. So adding the internal grip line, it extends it out and pushes the connection a couple inches back. So I highly recommend these, and so you can see it bending right there, and that's how this line is right here. This one still has the old slide check fitting. Let's see if I can get that out. I don't even, there we go. That's the same nozzle. So basically this nozzle would be sticking out right there. But this is the one we took off of the my original Tippmann. So with the original, so this is the original Tippmann M4 build that we did, and I've been fielding that. This is my primary. So this also has an internal grip line, but I 550 wrapped it just because the swelling of the hose, and I believe this is sand pattern, and they got a lot of different patterns. It looks really cool, and I dug it. However, it did stiffen up to the point where it was kind of getting in my way, and I don't know if that's something with my hoses specifically, or if I'm running too much high pressure, because with the Tippmann, I'm not running a regulator. It's all, internal, so it's good. But I wanted to try something old school, and and it worked fine, like the original OG remote lines. I was looking for an upgrade to the slide checks, so I wanted to get these Proconnects. So basically, this is the Proconnect. There's a 0 slide check. You just press this button here, and you clip it like that. There's no slide check to mess with that could actually accidentally get slid back and lose all your air, which is a freaking hassle, especially if we're looking forward to this 3-day milsim. I don't know how many compressors are going to be out and where they're going to be. So originally we had the slide check and we upgraded to the Proconnect. Now I wanted to keep my original hose and just put the Proconnect on the amped line, but I was pricing out pieces, and it's very inexpensive to buy this Proconnect with this remote line, and it already comes together in one piece. After fielding 3 different tanks and 3 different hose lines, I recommend the old school coiled remote line. Ugly, maybe, but this retractability right here, and it doesn't get all stiff, is what saves me. You would think that it would snag, but it really doesn't. It snags less than the others, honestly, and having the ability to draw my weapon and say it stretches out the coil, it's going to be pretty close to my body, wrapped around, and then if I go back down, it's going to contract. So this conforming feature that this spring coil old school one has its benefits to the point where I'm going to run this from now on. So this is the line that I use, and with the Proconnect. But it comes with this. The only thing you have to do is take this piece off and put this piece on. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate how you do that. So the last time I did this, I used a pipe wrench, but I'm just going to use these pliers, or I don't even know what this tool is called. And just this wrench. Break that seal. So that's step 1, is remove this male fitting off this. You can go ahead and keep this if you want. I'm not going to, because I'm never going to use this, so I'm just going to throw this away. So now we have this Proconnect male end, and we have to put this on this end. So I think this is the size 13 millimeter, which will fit around this nut. Let's see. I would recommend running another bead of Teflon tape on this one just to make a better seal, so go ahead and get some of that. But this is what I use on all my gas fittings. There's a higher end one, a better one, specifically for gas, because I think this might actually be for water, but it works. And I don't want any on the inside because I don't want it breaking loose. I don't want any on this interior part because I don't want it breaking loose and then getting shot in to the gun through the gas line, because I don't know if that'll cause a problem, but I don't. Why even risk it? So I'm gonna go ahead and remove any of that on the interior a little bit more. There we go. So that was good. We'll get that thread started. Okay. Now we'll get the on. there you go. That should do it. Just make sure it's... Alright, there you go. And disconnects. Press this button. There you go. This is a lot better than this, and it's even shorter. So it's you're gonna save a little bit on bulk and length, and get a little bit more flexibility, and no more accidental slides. Because if you're in gameplay, and all of a sudden it does this, you're gonna have a problem.